News headlines. A very, very good team. Arne Slot's pre-match analysis before Galatasaray v Liverpool. Hugo Ekitike, I want to keep going and do even more for this team. Now let's hear the details. Welcome to LFC Transfer Hub. Arne Slot has analyzed the threat of Galatasaray and detailed how Liverpool will look to respond to their first defeat of the season. The head coach was speaking during Monday night's pre-match press conference at Rams Park in Istanbul, where the Reds play their second Champions League phase game of the campaign on Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. British summertime kickoff. On what he is looking for from his team in terms of a reaction to the weekend loss at Crystal Palace. I think we always have to do, no matter if we win, lose or draw, what is asked from you if you want to compete for trophies, but let alone if you wear a Liverpool shirt, and that is giving everything you have, and combine that with the best football you can play. I think in the course of the game against Palace we created more chances than we have created in all of the 3 games we played before against Palace, but we conceded also many more chances than we did before when we played Palace. So we can definitely improve on a few things, and the things we can improve, I will show tonight, to the players. On how he'd analyze Liverpool's defense so far this season and whether changing fullbacks has had an impact. I almost like that you ask me this question because, for me, defending is only a small margin involving defenders. I think one of our strengths was we kept the other team away from our goal a lot, and that normally doesn't start with your defenders, that starts somewhere else. If you look at it more detailed, we've conceded 4 goals from set pieces. Yes, we've changed our fullbacks, but we've changed a bit more than only our fullbacks and the goals we've conceded. I should look back at it in detail, but the first thing that comes to my mind is not that the fullbacks are our problem. It has always been a team performance. Last season I said many times, the reason we hardly conceded was that 11 players worked incredibly hard to make it difficult for the other team to even create a chance. That's what we have done this season many times as well, but you can work as hard as you want, but a set piece is almost a different game inside a game. That was, by the way, one of our main strengths last season, that we hardly conceded from set pieces. We have to go back to that. We haven't changed our setup, we haven't changed anything, so we have to prove in the upcoming weeks and months that we were maybe a bit unlucky in conceding some set pieces. That can happen in 5 or 6 games, and can be difficult to see it for the long term. We definitely have to improve because I also see teams in the Premier League that win games by set pieces and we lose games because of set pieces. On what Liverpool needs to do differently to avoid giving Galatasaray the initiative. That depends by what you mean by the initiative, because for me Palace didn't have the initiative if you talk about ball possession. Even the first 8 minutes were perfectly fine for me until we've conceded a corner. By the way, you can debate if it was a corner, yes or no, the answer for why I got a yellow. And then we conceded a corner and they've created and we've conceded too many chances, but it wasn't because they had the initiative. It was because they counterattacked us really well a few times and we lost the ball in positions where we shouldn't have lost it. We have to do much better than this. I am not sitting here telling you we played a good first half, and I am not telling you that having initiative in a game is something that is worth a lot. No, if you have initiative, it should lead to chances, and it definitely should not lead to conceding chances, but it wasn't that they were all over us. They counterattacked us a few times really well and we didn't do as well as we had to do. They played the ball into our last line, where they won the second ball a few times, and that's something we need to improve. Galatasaray are a completely different team to Palace, but also a team that are very hard to defeat, similar to Palace. 18 games without a loss, Palace, and this team have won the first 7 games in the league, so that means they are mentally also strong for difficult moments. If you win a lot, then you are also mostly mentally a bit stronger. So, a very difficult team to face, both with a lot of qualities, but you cannot compare these teams. One is playing 5-4-1, the other one is playing 4-3-3, so different players, different manager, and a different formation. On Galatasaray and their 5-1 defeat at Eintracht Frankfurt on matchday 1. Their loss against Frankfurt, I have watched that game and for me they were very, very, very unlucky in that game. The chances they gave away were only small, and it was either the quality of Frankfurt or a little bit of bad luck for Galatasaray that they conceded 5, because if they play the same game again, they will never, ever, ever concede 5 goals again in that same game because they played much better than the 5-1 showed. That's also what you see now at the beginning of the season here in Turkey, 7 wins and only conceded 2 if I am correct, scored a lot of goals, so a very, very good team and a very good manager who has been so successful over here as a player. So they know what it takes to win the league and know what it takes to win a game of football, so we have to be prepared for that. On the set-piece threat from Galatasaray? I think you've already given the answer. We've shown we are a team that can defend set-pieces really well. More and more in football you see it becomes more and more a set-piece game. I know set-pieces are a part of football, but I watched Brentford versus Man United on the way up to Palace. I saw 25 minutes of that game and I think it was 20 minutes of long throw-ins, set-pieces, long throw-ins, set-pieces, corner kick, goal kick. A goal kick is not a set-piece, by the way. This is the style of football you see more and more mainly in the Premier League, in my opinion. There is a reason for me why it is done even more in the Premier League than in other leagues, and that's because in the Premier League you can do much more. You can attack a goalkeeper, for example, you can even touch him and it is not even a foul. This is something everybody likes about the Premier League, but in Europe this is definitely a bit different. We knew Galatasaray were also strong on set pieces, but I can tell you we were a force on set pieces last season and we won our last Champions League game because of a set piece, when we scored the 3-2 with Virgil van Dijk. We were very, very, very close to scoring one against Palace. Every team you face at the moment, you have to be so well prepared when it comes to set pieces. Back in the days when I was still playing, we only talked about football and there was not even a set piece, let alone a set piece meeting. Nowadays, set piece meetings take just as long as the tactical meeting or the preparation for the game football-wise. That tells you the importance we give to set pieces, and I think every team around Europe gives to set pieces. On how much he is relying on the knowledge about Turkish football of assistant coach Giovanni van Bronckhorst, who was formerly head coach of Galatasaray's rivals Besiktas. Giovanni van Bronckhorst is one of my assistant coaches, so he is part of the setup if we discuss or talk about the team we face, if that is Palace or Everton or Atletico Madrid or, in this situation, Galatasaray. So he has knowledge about Turkish football. He knows these players, some of them, that we're going to face tomorrow maybe better than the rest of the staff because we have not worked in this league and not played against them. But in modern football there are so many videos you can watch so many games that every manager, even if you haven't worked here, can know a lot about the other team. So yes, we have used Gio, as we have used the other assistant coaches as well. Hugo Ekitike, I want to keep going and do even more for this team. Hugo Ekitike is eager to build on the extremely encouraging start to his Liverpool career. The French forward has been on the scoresheet 5 times in 8 competitive appearances since arriving at the Reds from Eintracht Frankfurt this summer. Having missed the Premier League defeat by Crystal Palace last time out due to suspension, the 23-year-old is available for selection again and attended a press conference on the eve of his side's Champions League encounter away at Galatasaray. Read on to see what Ekitike had to say to reporters at Rams Park. On the start of his Liverpool career. I think I settled well. Obviously I had a good adaptation. The boys, the staff, everybody in the club helped me so much to adapt to this new environment. I would say everything goes well. You know how football is, you need to keep going and stay consistent. On Alexander Isak's arrival and playing alongside him. I think it's good. We play at such a big club. I can't see one big club playing just with only one striker. I think it's good that he's here. From my age, I think I have still a lot of things to improve and learn, so for me it's good that he's here. That's for the coach to decide how he wants to play, that's not me. But obviously you know it's a great player. I've been playing in a 2-striker composition, 1 striker, so I can do a lot of things. If we have to play together, I can do that. On his red card against Southampton in the Carabao Cup. I think that wasn't smart. Obviously I punished myself alone, I would say. I felt a bit disappointed to watch the boys from home last Saturday. But as I said, I apologized to everybody already, to all my teammates. That kind of thing won't happen again. I just move on now and I'm just looking forward to playing. I just focus on football. On what Arne Slot wants from him tactically. Honestly, the coach didn't talk a lot about my way to play or where I need to play. He gave me a lot of freedom in terms of being able to link up with the boys or go behind. I can do a lot of things. He just wants me to bring my football in the team. He didn't say much about that. On the reasons for joining Liverpool this summer. It's just the best choice, it's the champion of England. For me, they had great players, great history. It just fit with what I was looking for after Frankfurt. I think it was a good choice from me. That's why I chose Liverpool, it's just the best option and I wanted to come. On giving space to opponents and facing Galatasaray. Every game is different. Premier League, Champions League games are different. I think tomorrow is going to be a tough game. Playing here in Galatasaray, playing away from Liverpool is difficult. I can't really say much about that, giving space. It's the start of the season, we still have to find connections and to adapt to each other. I think in time it will be better, but I'm confident. On whether he expected this start to his Liverpool career and playing in the Champions League. To say I knew I would perform like that, no, but that's what I expected. I work for that. Obviously I'm happy that it works and I just want to keep going and do even more for this team. When I first played in the Champions League with PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, I was young, I was on the bench, I was more watching. I would say now it's my time being someone who can help the team to reach success in the Champions League and I'm very grateful for that. I will give 100% of myself.